Do you want an easy, effective way to use AI on your resume that doesn't make you sound like a soulless robot and actually gets you noticed? Well, in today's video, we're going to dive into 6 smart ways that you can use AI that's going to boost your resume and land you more interviews and job offers. So if AI can be your ticket to standing out, why isn't everyone crushing it? Let's peel back the curtain on what's really going on in the job market and why your resume is either getting lost in the shuffle or taking way too much effort to get it right. It all starts with this paradox. The easier it's gotten for job seekers to apply, the harder it's been for employers to hire. Even though 70% of employers say that they cannot find a suitable employee, and we're in a labor shortage, meaning that there's more job opportunities than there are people to fill them, 80% of applicants don't make it past an initial screening. And we're in this what's called a low churn environment, meaning that employers are slow to hire, slow to fire, and employees are hesitant to leave. So the state of job searching is different really than it's ever been before. Imagine for a moment that you're in a packed hallway and there's just 250 people shouting over each other. The voices bouncing off the walls, just echoing everywhere. And that's a lot like today's job market. Because employers are swamped. LinkedIn, job boards, social media has made applying so easy that they're drowning in these generic keyword stuffed nonsensical resumes. But here's the kicker. They're not just sitting there sipping coffee, reading carefully. No, they're speed scanning, spending just 6 to 8 seconds per resume, desperate to shrink that pile down to more manageable, like let's say 3 or 5 people that they can actually have a conversation with to see if they may be a good fit, which is, what's called a job interview. They're looking and using AI as tools, such as an applicant tracking software, to even further expedite this process. Think about it. If they spent just 3 minutes per resume, that's over 12 hours of work just to review it for the first time. And multiply that by a hiring team, and it's well over 50 hours, not including taking the time to read cover letters or set up and conduct interviews. They're just overwhelmed. And their first instinct isn't really to find the perfect hire. It's to ditch as many resumes as possible, as fast as possible. And it's sort of like shouting, "Hey!" in the hallway, right? Your voice just gets swallowed up by the noise. And no one even really knows that you're there. And where does that leave you? Stuck. And you're applying to anything and everything, tweaking here, uploading there. And what do you get? Crickets. No callbacks, no emails, just silence. Or maybe this generic, we went with someone more qualified if you're lucky. It's maddening. You've got the skills, the degree, and the drive, but in 6 seconds, you're invisible. And that rejection stings, and the overwhelm, it's crushing, especially with ADHD, where focus is a battle and motivation tanks often after every dead end. And over the years as a counselor and career coach, I've seen firsthand how well-qualified people spinning their wheels because their resumes just don't break through. And you're not alone in this. It's a brutal game. Blasting out the same generic resume, what I call spray and pray, it's like wishing on a coin toss. It's not working, and worse, it's draining you dry. So is there a better way? You see, the resume game has changed. It's no longer simply about listing what you've done in the past. It's not about getting one document together and just blasting that out to countless job postings. It's about using your resume as part of a personalized marketing strategy, speaking directly to potential employers, and showing them exactly how you can contribute to their goals and success in a matter of seconds. Right? You stand out by using a 100% tailored resume. And I literally recommend one unique resume per job posting. Because back to our hallway analogy, you're back in this bustling hallway and there's this cacophony of voices and footsteps echoing all around you. And amidst the chaos, you raise your voice and you call out directly to me, right? Trying to get my attention. So instead of like, hey, hello, because what happens, right? Your message is drowned into the sea of all the other noise. But what if you called my name directly? If you said, "Hey, Scott," and then what's going to happen? I'm most likely going to stop and listen. And this isn't just hypothetical either. There's this scientifically proven phenomenon called the cocktail party effect, which is the ability to focus on particular stimulus while filtering out a range of other distractions. Using an fMRI brain scans, researchers have now evidence that several regions of the brain light up, showing greater activation when we hear our own name compared to hearing others. This effect is consistent with other patterns reported when topics are judgments about oneself. In other words, we are wired to pay attention to things that concern us and filter out the noise. And this is true for employers too. Say something relevant and they have to listen. So what's the catch? This is a ton of work, unless you've got a boost. And that's where AI comes in. Not to churn out these robotic flops, but to make tailoring fast, smart, and doable, even with ADHD. So let's see how to dodge the traps and use it right. But before we get into the good stuff, let's talk about how not to use AI. Because if you mess this up, you're toast. And a survey found that 80% of hiring managers hate AI and really say it's a deal breaker. And why? Because AI can tank your chances in 3 big ways. First, don't let AI build your resume skeleton. Starting with a blank document, no templates, no formatting, keeps you in control. And AI might spit out some stiff cookie cutting layout that screams robot. And it's also really hard to change and adapt. And it's just going to really be a fast pass to the trash. Second, don't let AI write your document for you. It might hallucinate where it makes up different skills or experiences that you just don't have. And trust me, employers spot that from a mile away. Or it's just going to pile on these like fluffy buzzwords like team player that really means nothing. Either way, it's just more noise and it's not you. And it kills that human spark that they're actually looking for. And third, don't let AI just list what you did in the past. Your resume is about your future, not about your past. Here's how to use AI the right way to save time, cut overwhelm, and keep your resume human. First, reverse engineer job postings. And then 2, you can match your skills. So you can feed AI your skills and your experience compared to the job posting, and you can even ask it, how does it align? 3, craft future-focused bullet points. I think one of the most difficult parts about writing a resume is formulating the bullet points. It takes a ton of time and lots of energy, and it's hard to actually word those in a concise yet effective way. But this is something that AI can do actually really well. One of the best things that you can have on a resume is what's called a summary of qualifications. And you can use AI to help you tailor that summary. One of the things that AI does best is it can proofread like a pro. So you can run it through Grammarly or similar tools to catch errors and clean up some of your writing styles or make it more pithy, if you would. And then 6, you can adapt it for multiple jobs. Because once you've got a solid base resume, which I would call a niche resume, you can use AI to tweak it to the roles fast. Hey there, I'm Scott Treas, ADHD Career Coach with Life Sketch Counseling and Coaching. And welcome to my channel, where we're all about helping adults with ADHD to start, change, and grow their lives and careers. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button or tap the bell. We've got some more tips coming your way. And stick around to the end. I'd love to hear some of your job search struggles in the comments. Oh, and before we go, grab my free ADHD career guide. Discover what's next and move forward in your job search. Inside, you'll get tools and a step-by-step process to figure out your career path, land a great job. It's a game changer that you don't want to miss. All right, let's get back into it. A problem that I've seen over and over throughout the years with resumes is when people are using some sort of template. Right? If you're on Canva or Microsoft Word or Apple Pages or something like that, and it's going to give you these really fancy looking resumes. And now people are starting to use that with some sort of AI chatbot as well. And what's frustrating about it is they're really cumbersome. They're difficult to change. And if we're sticking with our spirit of one resume per job posting, right, this really tailored process, it makes it really difficult to do that. So one thing I'm going to always recommend is that when you are starting a resume or updating a resume is always start with a blank document. So I'm going to use Drive. And so I'm going to start with this right here. So I might say resume, Scott's resume. The very first thing I'm going to do is start with my contact information. So I'm going to put my name, and then I'm going to go ahead and upload the rest of, or type in most of the stuff that it's going to need to have on here. I also don't like the blue, so I am taking away those very visible hyperlinks. Then we're going to start to build out the sections that are in a resume. These are going to be your main aspects of that. I use a summary of qualifications section. This is my favorite aspect of the resume. It is essentially like a thesis or an abstract where you're going to say, basically, here are the 5 bullet points that really showcase overall how I'm qualified for this position. This is going to be highly updated, which we'll see in one of our next tips. But this is a very brief section. Really, we're going to update that every single time. So I'm going to come back to that. For degree, I'm going to say what it is I have. Institution next. I'm going to put my date. And then one thing that is really important for this aspect is we're wanting to try to make it consistent. You're going to see that I'm going to be formatting this later on. So really, I'm just looking for the content here. But similar to how I have the degree, the institution, the city, state, as well as the dates, I'm going to have the job title, the organization, the city and state, as well as the dates that I was there. I'm also waiting to put my bullet points on here. I'm just going to start listing out my experience. And if you notice, I'm just really trying to make it as clear as possible that yes, I was a professional career counselor. It was at the Career Center at CU Denver. And then this one, I was a career counseling intern. This was called the Career Services at UNC. So you can add or whatnot. We're just trying to make this as clear as possible. Okay, so this is just the very start of what my resume, just the content uh, of the experiences, and you're going to be able to then come in and start to formulate and use it for style. So if I wanted to say, hey, I want this to be larger, then these headers, summary of qualifications, education, experience, we want these headers to all be the same. I'm going to make them bold. Make the city and state italicized, just to make it a little easier to see And one thing that we're wanting to do in all of these is making sure that it's just consistent. So one of the worst things that, again, about using a template or having AI start to go that in there is it actually takes more work. So something that I can use from here is I can just start to copy and paste this in directly. Here is the start of my resume, not including bullet point content. I'm going to upload a relevant job description for a position I'm interested in in applying for. Words are hard. Our tip 2 is using AI to feed a job description so that we can eventually start to tailor this position. So I'm going to go to Indeed and I'm going to be looking for 3 to 5 job descriptions that are going to be relevant to the position I'm applying for. And of course, you can use this for the specific thing that you're applying for as well. So we're going to start to think about, well, what is this job that I'm applying for? As you saw, I'm an ADHD career coach. I've done career counseling. So we're going to just see what's out there. Literally, I'm just going to type career and see what shows up. And nothing super relevant for me. So I'm going to start to refine that a little bit more. So I'm going to type in career counselor. And you can see, I'm just scanning through really fast. So I see college and career counselor here, a job coach, vocational counselor, anything that might be relevant to me. I'm throwing in career coach to see, is there something else similar? If I was looking for a job specifically on a college campus again, I would just put that in my search. And seeing it's not exactly pulling up really what I'm wanting. So for now, I'm going to take away the location, or I might say, hey, where are a lot of schools? I know Boston does. So I'm going to put in University Career Counselor in now a different city, different location. And you're going to see, right, this one says career advisor. The other one say career counselor. Well, it's not until I open up the job description that I'm going to start to see a little bit of what this is. So it's going to, of course, give you a lot of the overview. It's going to talk about the functions or the responsibilities in this one. And then it's going to give you the required knowledge and skills. These are the things you're going to have. Career counselor, bachelor's degree in business, preferred a master's degree. This career counselor at this university. I'm popping back to our AI system here. And I'm going to just let it know what I'm going to do. I'm uploading 3 relevant positions that I want to use for reverse engineering. I want to have a list of top keywords, to have the skills and qualifications ranked by order of importance, as well as any relevant competencies. So now I'm going to come in, copy paste. All right, let's see what it says. So this is already starting to do what just takes hours of human stuff, right? Like we know how to do keyword analysis and reverse engineering. This just does it a lot faster for us. So tip 3, now that we have our base resume that we've created ourselves, we've started to do some of this reverse engineering where we're putting in relevant job descriptions. I'm now going to start writing out some of these future focused bullet points. So I'm going to look up one more job description and I'm going to use that as a pretend model or a pretend target that I'm actually going to be applying for. So this is a college career position kind of in my neck of the woods. So I'm saying, so this is the job I'm applying for next. I need to start building out the bullet points for my resume. And look at what it's doing, guys. So for my experience, it is already starting to use the keywords in there as well. I don't know what it's doing here, right? Like, why is it starting to just list these out randomly? So that's where I'm coming back. From underneath my experience sections, I'm going to say write 3 to 6 relevant bullet points for each of these positions relevant to this. So now I just reformatted it, told it to do it underneath for each of my bullet point, or for each of my positions. And you're going to start to see this more aligned with what I'm looking for. So if I'm going to blindly do it right now, and then we'll kind of start to look at what that looks like underneath here. But I'm going to come back to my open template, and I'm going to paste. Now, when I'm pasting this, I'm also going to make sure I'm taking away all formatting, because once again, I don't want any other person's format, because it makes it really hard. So I'm going to just paste the text in directly. You're going to see it made it italicized because my last thing I had on there was. So this should still be in my normal text, my normal font. It's going to have a few extra spacings, and then I'm going to turn this into bullet points myself. So now let's do the rest of this. Last one. Okay, look at this start. How much more of a professional resume am I getting in very short amount of time? This is personalized. I'm going to worry about, again, the most of the formatting later, but it's personalized. It is so far somewhat accurate. Now I'm going to have to, because I can't blindly trust what it says, because who knows what it's really coming in there. For example, something that it said, it supported neurodiverse youth. I have no idea if they were neurodiverse youth at all. I mean, I'm assuming some of them were. So I might start to want to come in and tweak some of these as well. But overall, this is how I'm starting to build that. So step 4 or tip 4 is I'm going to come in and start to build out the summary of qualifications. So I said, I'm hoping to build out a summary of qualifications section for this resume. I want to use 6 strong, comprehensive bullet points that showcase overall how I'm qualified, including my experience, technical skills, and even personality. Look at this. Experienced career counselor and educator, expert in career development and college readiness, skilled in student advising, individualized support, dynamic workshop facilitator or programmer developer, strong communication relationship builder, passionate advocate for student success. So this already here is, I can use this section. Whoa, we're going to come back. We're going to make it 11, not bold. So here's a summary of qualifications. I might say, refine to be more direct and pithy. Because when I see this is a little too much text. I don't think they're going to read that in 6 to 8 seconds. So I refined it. And this is one way to keep it bold. I feel like that's a little distracting, so I'm going to take away their little extra bolding here. So now it says 10 plus years in career counseling and education, expert in college and career readiness, skilled in student advising, dynamic program leadership, passionate student and advocate. Okay, so this, I'm starting to build out my college and career counselor position I'm applying for online. Now, the other tip is once we start to get this is we're wanting to use this as a quick way to refine it to a different position that I might be applying for. So I'm going to start to push this and say, okay, now I'm applying for an internship in mechanical engineering. Refine this current resume's bullet points to be focused on the next So I'm going to see if I can push it just this to let me have a mechanical engineering resume with all of my career and education experience. So now we're seeing strong problem skills, data decision driven making, project management, technical communicator. And many of these are very accurate. The data analysis, problem solving, strategic planning, research-based methodologies. A lot of this I'm actually doing. I did use quantitative and qualitative assessments here. We did use frameworks and structures of that. Problem solving. I'm going to do one more. I'm saying another job target is a bartender manager position. Please update this for that food and beverage position. So it's saying 10 plus years in leadership experience because I put manager in there. Then the next one is talking about customer service and relationship building, right? Because that's so key here. Staff development and coaching, problem solving, conflict resolution, workflow optimization, and this high energy customer service. And so guys, look at this, right? It's built and managed successful coaching business. Look how different that is than provided individualized career counseling and coaching. So many of the same skills or same experience that's going to be so different towards this next position. So this is how you can use AI to be very much tailored and future focused without taking tons and tons and tons of time. All right, let's start to wrap this up. Here's your takeaways. Your resume is your voice in this noisy job market. And with these 6 AI trips, from reverse engineering job descriptions, matching skills, crafting bullets, tailoring summaries, proofreading, and adapting fast, you can make it loud and clear. It's about standing out in those 6 to 8 seconds, landing more interviews, and turning frustrations into offers. But here's the number one reason I see people stumble in their job search. They don't have a specific job target. They're scattered, chasing anything and everything, and their resumes reflect that chaos, especially with ADHD, where you need to get focused and the rest clicks. So if you want help nailing that focus, you could head to Life Sketch, or you can look into the show notes and grab my free ADHD career guide, where you're going to discover what's next and move forward in your job search. Inside, you'll find tools and a step-by-step process to figure out your career path and land a great job. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. And I'm Scott Treas, ADHD Career Coach. Subscribe with more tips. Tell me more in the comments. What's your job search hurdle? And let's get you moving. See you next time.